They left the school and were soon in the busy thoroughfares of a city. The Spirit stopped beside a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it. Know it? Was I apprentice here? An old man in a Welsh wig sitting behind such a high desk that had he been 2 inches taller, his head must have knocked the ceiling. Why, it's Fezziwig. It's old Fezziwig alive again! Old Fezziwig laid down his pen and looked at the clock, which pointed to the hour of 7. He rubbed his hands and adjusted his capacious waistcoat and called out, "Yo-ho there, Dick! Ebenezer!" Scrooge's former self, now grown a young man, came briskly in, accompanied by his fellow apprentice. "Why, it's Dick Wilkins, to be sure." "No more work tonight? Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Now let's have those shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson." Well, you wouldn't believe how these two fellows ran at it. They ran into the streets with the shutters. 1, 2, 3, had them up and into their places. 4, 5, 6, barred them and pinned them. 7, 8, 9, and ran back before he could have gotten to 12, panting like racehorses. "Heely hi ho!" cried old Fezziwig, skipping down from the high desk with wonderful agility. "Clear away, lads. Let's have plenty of room here." The floor was swept and watered. The lamps were trimmed. Fuel was heaped upon the fire. And the warehouse was as bright and dry and snug and warm a ballroom as you would desire to see upon a winter's night. In came the fiddler and went up to the lofty desk and made an orchestra of it and tuned like 50 stomach aches. In came Mrs. Fezziwig, one vast, substantial smile. In came the 3 Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In came the 6 young followers whose hearts they broke. In came all the young men and women employed by the business. In came the housemaid with her cousin, the baker. In came the cook with her brother's particular friend, the milkman. In came the boy from over the way who was suspected of not having board enough from his master, trying to hide himself behind a girl from next door but one who was proved to have had her ears pulled by her mistress. In they all came, one after another. Some shyly, some boldly, some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing, some pulling. In they all came, anyhow and everyhow. There were dances, and there were forfeits, and there were more dances, and there was cake, and there was negus, and there was a great piece of cold roast, and there was a great piece of cold boiled, and there were mince pies, and there was plenty of beer. But the great effect of the evening came after the roast and the boiled, when the fiddler struck up Sir Roger de Coverley. Then old Fezziwig stood out to dance, with Mrs. Fezziwig, top couple too, with a good stiff piece of work cut out for them. 3 or 4 and 20 pairs of partners. But if they had been twice as many, 4 times old Fezziwig would have been a match for them. And so would Mrs. Fezziwig. A positive light appeared to issue from Fezziwig's calves. They shone in every part of the dance like moons. When the clock struck 11, this domestic ball broke up. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig took their stations on either side of the door, and shaking hands with each person individually as he or she left, wished him or her a Merry Christmas. When everyone had left save the 2 apprentices, they did the same for them. Scrooge's former self turned down the lamps, and the cheerful voices died away. "Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. It will not happen again. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir."
"Now I'll tell you what. I am not about to stand for this sort of thing any longer, Bob Cratchit. And therefore I am about to raise your salary." A Merry Christmas, Bob. Oh, many a Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, that I have given you for many a year. I will raise your salary and endeavor to assist your family. And we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Well, now, make up the fires and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I. Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he became a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of us, and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us.